Well, what's up again, guys? Brian here, 3 Topics Game, here to share with you another one of my weekly Q&As titled The People's Questions, where I answer a series of questions that have been sent to me over the last week. We got a solid amount of questions that I thought were a bit all over the place. There were a few questions I was able to answer in the comment section, so if you don't hear your question here, you'll know where to look. But like always, before I start answering these questions that I did happen to receive and will be answering for this video, please do not forget to like, share, and subscribe to keep track of me and all my future videos, as well as future projects coming out for the rest of the month, because the month of November is turning out to be a very, very productive month. So, starting with the first question, coming from Ellen Degenerate, and he wants to know, what is the funniest joke I've ever heard? The fact that Donald Trump won the presidency. That was the day that I stopped taking the presidency serious in any capacity. I mean, if someone like him could become president, then I think any one of us has the qualifications to become president. So I don't take it seriously anymore. So yeah, that's probably the funniest joke I've ever heard. Next question comes from Shaudisis Gaming, and this question is just confusing. But you want to know, would I like to see a Matrix prequel trilogy? You might not be aware of this, but The Matrix already technically has a prequel. It's called Animatrix. It pretty much tells the origins of how everything started and does a pretty good job at doing that. So if you haven't seen the Animatrix, I would suggest you go back and try to find it online and watch it. I think that's a good enough prequel than we're gonna get. I think we're good there. I mean, trilogy was just weird. I was like, I don't even know what you could. It's already been done, so yeah. Next question comes from Alucerna. You want to know, what are my thoughts on the video game Rise: Son of Rome? Well, I don't really have much thoughts on it since I never played it. I am a fan of Roman history, so there is that, but since I never played it, and it was on Xbox, I just don't have much to say about it. It looked okay to me, but heck, I can't say from personal experience. And if you guys hear that sound, it's just my air conditioning, so hope it doesn't bother you too much. Next question, another confusing one. It comes from the Batman of Neo Gotham. Not sure if you've played games on your computer, which I haven't, but if so, what gaming PC would you personally recommend in terms of resolution and FPS? I don't know. I only got my gaming PC because it was on sale and because of its RAM speed, which allowed me to work on videos a lot faster. That was the prime reason I got it. Like, I have 2 PCs. I have, like, just one for, like, extra things, and then one I do my editing on. But in terms of gaming, I have never used any of my PCs for gaming. The last time I played a video game on a PC was maybe in high school when I played like Halo multiplayer on PC. So yeah. Now this one was just confusing. But it come from Fanfiction Fanatic 2, and you want to know, who's a historical figure I would like to see in a fighting game? Like what? A historical figure? Like, who could you pick? I mean, I would say, like, maybe Bruce Lee, but, like, every fighting game has, like, a Bruce Lee ripoff. I guess Jackie Chan, maybe? But I'm sure he's been in a fighting game. I just don't know. So in terms of historical figure, I don't have a clue. Just historical figures don't do well in fighting games, or does it make sense to put them in a fighting game? So yeah. And the last question, I swear the fact that this name is so simple is just throws me off. I mean, I get all these crazy names, and yet the last question of the episode comes from simply Tim. That still gets at me every time. But Tim wanted to know, what do I think would be the most epic crossover game if it were to ever exist? I think the most epic crossover game is if they combine Street Fighter and Mortal Kombat. I mean, let's be honest. Street Fighter has crossed over with Marvel, and Mortal Kombat has crossed over with DC. So, why not take the two kings of the fighting game genre and put them into one game? I mean, there's no question that Mortal Kombat characters are significantly more powerful than Street Fighter characters, but heck, I think it'd be an interesting crossover. So, yeah, Mortal Kombat versus Street Fighter. Make that game, and yeah, I think that would be a pretty epic crossover. So that'll do it for this episode of TPQ. If you happen to enjoy it, like always, don't forget to give it a thumbs up. If you guys have any more questions you'd like me to answer in next week's episode, be sure to type them in the comments down below. But make sure you get them in to me before next Wednesday, before I start filming the next episode. And like always, thank you guys for watching. You're awesome, and I will see you all next week.